he treated that championship like it was the most important thing in his life. Like
Yeah.
over CJ Perry. Like that thing was his life.
He was cutting promos on God because of
Right.
because of this title. Look, we're talking about top guys, some of our favorites. Let's cross over to AEW, and on the most recent episode of Dynamite, after a banging opener, we saw the return of Miro. Miro came back. It was great to see him. I thought it was Kenny Omega when he was padding up from the shoes and the thighs and I wanted to saw the shorts. I said, "Oh, it's Omega." I thought it's Omega. I've seen him wear something like this before, and panned up, and it was Miro, and I literally audibly gasped. I was like, "He's back!" And then obviously Renee was trying to catch a word of him. He ignored her, and he walked straight into Tony Khan's office. Now, obviously, we know what they're probably angling towards of all these people. Thunder Rosa also returned in a similar segment, walked into Tony Khan's office, and we know there's, the talks of a new TV show and all of that on the horizon. But what's your initial reaction when you saw Miro return?
Man, I was on Twitch last night on it, and that's what one of my co-hosts, Erica, she also thought it was Kenny because of the shorts and the insane amount of thighs. And then she was like, "Oh, it's Miro." And I was like, "What?"
She didn't care.
And then my girlfriend, who didn't watch him as Rusev, so she doesn't, and she's barely seen him as Miro because he's been out. So she's just like, "Oh, okay." I freaked out because I was like, "This is," the moment that he goes into Tony's office and Thunder Rosa comes a few minutes later, I was like, Miro would be perfect for Collision. That's a perfect guy to have as like one of the staples of Collision. This roster is very, very heavy. They don't know what to do with all of these guys on one show. He's perfect for Collision. And you don't want no diss to Rampage. I try to watch, I watch Rampage every week. I was a big AEW Dark Mark. But like, you need his return to be special. And something like Collision will make that special.
Yeah. Feeling like, they said that they're toying with the idea of a brand split. It may be a soft one. It might be a hard one, whatever that means. Right. But having Miro as a staple on Collision, no one can complain that my favorite guy is not on TV anymore. This isn't where he is. This is where you can find him. So yeah, I think that'll be super good. I mean, I'm looking at where we can slot him back in and make him special. And I can't lie, there's two places: the International Championship that Orange Cassidy has, but I can't lie, Orange Cassidy is doing such a fantastic job there. I do want to see it move around and other people win it. However, I think I'm going to send Miro on a rescue mission of the TNT title.
I mean, it makes sense
because he was the last great champion. Now, I don't want to offend you and your guys. I know you love Sammy Guevara, but
my favorite. Probably my favorite wrestler currently, outside of Jeff Hardy.
He's a terrific wrestler. There is no doubt about it. But they have done Sammy Guevara a disservice. They have absolutely messed up Wardlow with the TNT title. They've killed Will Hobbs.
Not only that, man. Title. Where the hell is Scorpio Sky?
Where is Scorpio Sky?
I was invested, man.
I'm sure Scorpio Sky has like some office job backstage in AEW.
Sure.
But like, since Miro lost that TNT title, you might as well have just thrown it away. Like it's just dropped. That was second to the world title, but now the international title's come in, done so well, especially with Orange Cassidy. It's like the TNT is so irrelevant now, and I hate to kind of rewrite history. And we've been here before, yes, but I think people will sit up and pay attention if Miro gets that TNT championship. What do you think?
Well, my first thought was go with the international championship because I think that it could make it so special that Miro holds it. But as much as I did a whole series being like what's happening with the TNT title all throughout that mess. But the one thing that you could expect in Sammy's reign was a great match. The story was,
of course,
awful. But you could expect a great match, and that's what I think that it's lacking is like terrific matches. Miro can provide that, and Miro is the person that it would make the most sense for him to go after the TNT title because he treated that championship like it was the most important thing in his life, over CJ Perry. Like that thing was his life.
Yeah.
So if he's coming back, he's like, I'm coming back for that thing. Like nothing's changed. My whole like livelihood is after the TNT Championship, and I think that could make even to like if he goes on the mic and tells Wardlow like your aspirations are the world championship, my aspirations is to beat you and to get my championship back. Like then I'm completely invested in Miro to be champion again. International championship makes sense, but I do think the TNT title would be really nice. And also, if Collision is going to be on TNT, I'm going to guess that they're mainly going to have the TNT championship on Collision. Sense. I mean, they don't really. Jade's typically on Dynamite, which is on
TBS.
TBS. Yeah, so that makes more sense. So yeah, maybe do that.
The way he was so possessed with that TNT title, it makes sense. He has to, let Wardlow have a little run. Whenever Collision is going to start, I think maybe in a month's time or so. Yeah. That's when you start making Miro, rebuilding Miro for fans that didn't see him, didn't know much about him, and then he kind of lays out his objective that this is everything to me. Like he was cutting promos on God because of this title. So yeah, he has to go back for that one and restore it to the glory days. And maybe I don't expect AEW to have 2 world titles. Neither should they think about doing that. Nope. But maybe he can make this the top title on Collision. Make it the one that people want to come over to Collision and try to win, try to take from him. Wardlow eventually dropping it and going after MGF, I think is 100% in the books. Obviously, they've got history, so yeah, I think you need to. I'm gonna start a campaign for Miro and that TNT championship again.
Yeah, I'm down with it.